Hi, my name is Jay, and I'm here today to talk a little bit about a program that we're going to be having in the next few weeks called Better Breathing in 8 Steps. I wanted to share with you a little bit about what the program's about and to let you know that if you're interested, you can sign up at any time on our website. Basically, what we're going to go over is this is for anybody with chronic lung disease who is having difficulty getting themselves to be able to do anything more without getting short of breath, or finding that they're anxious and afraid to do things. What we're going to do is go beyond the pursed lip breathing. So we're going to talk a little bit about pursed lip breathing, but it's my experience that most people don't know how to use it, when to use it, how to incorporate it into activity, and basically utilize it in the way that it's helpful and meaningful for you to get through the day with more energy and more ability to move further without shortness of breath. So what we're going to do is to go into 8 different program classes, and in each class we break down a little bit about how to go about doing this and what other things that you need in order to be able to do this. So for an example, a lot of people find when we start talking that they're really not taking full breaths. They're only taking breaths to about here, and that's not uncommon, but most people have forgotten what it's like to take a nice deep breath. So part of it's just actually seeing what is it like to take a nice deep breath, and what's it feel like when it actually goes all the way down to your belly. And then what we're going to do from there is take a pinwheel and use the pinwheel to show you how to breathe while you're moving. So what we want to do is use something as a visual. And you can get these at the dollar store, or you could get these at, excuse me one second. Come here. Sorry, I've got a puppy who doesn't want to leave. You can get these at the dollar store, or you could get these most anywhere that's inexpensive for just about $1. And what's nice about them is these and bubbles are really good for giving you a visual of how much volume of air you're getting into your lungs that you can then get out. Most people have problems at first spinning these, and what's interesting is as you get better at it and as your lungs get stronger, as you learn to breathe properly, you can learn to actually spin this well, which translates to the fact that you're taking more air into your lungs and therefore have more oxygen to burn, to use for activity. Once you get to where you can do this with just sitting, or just standing, then you see, can you start doing it and using it while you're moving? And most people will find that if you're paying really close attention to your breathing, a lot of you are not taking deep breaths, and in fact sometimes just holding your breath while you're moving and then trying to play catch up when you actually end up at your destination or short of breath and have to stop. So one of the things that we like to do is to really be paying attention to not only what we're doing, but how do we feel when we're doing it. A lot of people are used to feeling like this is how I am, this is how I always am, this is how I would feel all the time. And what's really important is to realize that this is just where you've gotten to over time and it's become your new norm. But it doesn't have to remain your norm. I've had people that are even in stage 4 lung disease who are able to breathe better and to be able to go further without being short of breath. A lot of what we're going to talk about as well is also called energy conservation, and it's about using your body efficiently. So we use oxygen, and we have so much oxygen that we can use, and that's our energy. And when we use up our energy, then we have to stop and take a deep breath and catch back up again. And what we're trying to do is not have to get there. So part of what we're doing is trying to learn what is a better way that we could actually do something that doesn't take as much work. that we can still accomplish the same task, but it doesn't necessarily have to take as much work. If it doesn't take as much work, it doesn't take as much oxygen either. So what we're trying to do is to, excuse me, learn when we have the breathing tool, what we're doing, when we're breathing, when we're actually not breathing very efficiently, and also how we can use our breathing without using the cue. So it's getting away from needing this cue and starting to really feel, what does it feel like when I breathe normally? Most of you will also have pulse oximeters, and I like to use them for biofeedback. A lot of people will think, okay, well, my number's really good. That means that I'm in good shape. Not necessarily, because if you're breathing 30 times a minute to get that number, then that's telling you that you're not efficient, that you're short of breath, and that you're not taking enough oxygen in. So you have to work twice as hard in order to get that number to stay good. And what we want to do is have you be breathing in a normal rate, normal way, and have that number still look good. So you can use that as a gauge for how low your oxygen's going, but you have to use it in line with what's happening with your body. What are you doing? What's your heart rate? What's your breathing rate? How are you breathing? How are you feeling? If you're feeling anxious, you'll find that your breathing rate goes up. As your breathing rate goes up, you typically take shallower breaths. So you're back to square one again. So even though you're not using the energy that you are expending to get where you're short of breath, your anxiety gets you there. So a good part of what we're also going to talk about is how much control you actually can have over your breathing. And this is the area I find most people feel the most anxious over, is that they don't feel like they have any control over their breathing, when in fact, a lot of times you have at least some control. And being able to take that control back and be able to say, okay, I am in control of how I feel. And I am in control of how well I'm breathing. And I am in control of how calm I am when I'm breathing. When you get there and the anxiety can go away because you have some control, you'll find you actually can go further because you're not taking up that energy with anxiety. You're taking that energy and you're thinking about what you're doing. You're thinking about how you feel. You're thinking about what you can do differently to achieve that task so that you can get further without being short of breath. And then most importantly, get on with your life and focus on your life and less on feeling like you're short of breath all the time. Now, I know a lot of people feel, I've been through pulmonary rehab, I've been through this before, I've done this, I've done that, nothing works. I'm here to tell you that I deal with these people all the time, and I find that a lot of times some of it's not knowing why you need to do what you need to do, not really getting understanding and commitment to being able to say, I can do this, being able to take some control back over your body and not let it control you, and then taking it a step further and saying, I can do better by being more efficient. So not only can my lungs be more efficient, but if I am stronger, if my muscles are stronger, which we will also work on, I will be able to be more efficient with how I use my energy. So instead of gumming down the gas pedal to get somewhere really fast, I can get there a little slower, but I'll get there a lot further. I'll get there less short of breath. I'll get there comfortable, and I'll have energy left at the end of this to continue on. And that's the key. So I'm hoping that this is helpful for you to get a little bit of a feel for what we're going to do and how this is going to help you to really get a little bit more control of your breathing, hopefully a lot of control over your breathing, to understand when there's a problem and you need to call your doctor instead of waiting until it's so late that you end up in the hospital. A lot of times there's some little warning signs that give you a hint something's not right. But again, being chronically ill, you get used to feeling like that. And so you start to dismiss what your body's trying to tell you. And we want to go backwards and remember, what did it feel like when you felt okay? And how can you stay there? And when you're not there, when do you call and get help before it ends up being a big problem? So I hope this was helpful, and I look forward to meeting you, and I hope that you'll join us for our free intro session. And we will go over, our first session will be a little bit more of this in detail and some of the how-tos. If you're able to and you're interested in joining our series, it will start on the 22nd of September. It will run for 8 weeks. It'll be about 45 minutes each. We will compartmentalize it into 3 different stages. So there'll be the part that we'll talk and we'll learn some stuff. The second will be, we'll start to learn and do some exercises and activities that will help reinforce that. And then we're going to send you home with some homework to work on until the next week so that you can come back ready for the next stage. So I hope this was helpful, and it was very nice to see you today. And I thank you. Bye-bye.